3, 2, 1.
Hello.
Welcome to Background Noise, Christmas edition.
We are going to get into it, and we're going to do Am I the A-Hole? First one is from Week Ordinary 9324, and its title is, Am I the A-Hole for not giving up my Christmas annual leave so my coworker can spend some time with her kids? I, 25 female, am not sure if it's relevant, but I've chosen a child-free life, and 3 months ago I got started on a new job and have just passed my probation period, and now my bosses are sorting out my annual leave with me. This boss said there's one gap left for annual leave on Christmas, and they've been saving it for me. According to him, any new employees, once they've passed probation period, will get the first Christmas off. Here's the thing, I don't care if I work Christmas or not, and I'll be on my own this Christmas as I don't celebrate it. 2 days later, this was 3 days ago, 2 months ago.
What? It was what?
So this post is 2 months ago, but when they were writing it, this happened 3 days ago.
Okay.
I had a colleague come up to me, and she was talking about annual leave and asked if I would consider switching, and my response was no. She then started going on about how she has kids and what I would be doing this Christmas, and I just said no. She seemed moody and walked away. Later that night, I got home, and my nephew video called me from his mom's phone. When she got the phone, we caught up. Here's the thing, though. Before my sister gave birth to her son, this happened and was in complete agreement with me in a previous workplace. I brought this up with my sister. My sister said I'm being a bit selfish as I'm child-free and she has kids. She's working and I'm not, which means she won't be able to see her kids for long on Christmas Day. She also brought up the fact that I'm not bothering to come up and see family this Christmas and will be spending 3 of the days phone-free, so I won't be communicating with anyone. Am I the a-hole for not giving up my annual leave to a mom with kids when I'm going to be off and she's going to be working, even though I don't care if I work or don't work? Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, if you
don't care, just switch.
Then just do it.
Especially if you're not going to see family or any of that, switch so she can be with her kids.
Yeah, for real.
Like
if it was just a normal day, no.
Yeah.
I feel like because you can have a day off. Mm-hmm. Like, she's not required to do it, but she's kind of acting like the a-hole.
Yeah, especially
just because she's like, I'm not doing anything, which, like, that's one thing. If you're not doing anything on Christmas, that's fair.
Yeah.
But it's more that she's like, I don't care if I work or not.
Yeah.
Then if she hadn't said that, I don't think I would have said so. But after she said that, or
yeah, she's like, if it's a she was 25.
Yeah, she, like, that kind of is a-hole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let the mom spend time with her kids on Christmas. You're not celebrating it, and
you don't care.
You're not going to see family, and you don't care if you're working or not. So work that one, and then have a later day.
Yeah, switch. So there's a way you could switch and make it all work out.
And that's what the coworker was saying. Like, just switch the annual leave so that she could do the Christmas and she'd have a different one.
Yeah, I think that's pure jail.
Like, they are the a-hole.
They are the a-hole. Like, this is kind of one of the first ones where we've really been
I was just about to say that.
We're the same person. That's why we did this podcast. So, yeah, she is pure a-hole.
Yeah, I agree.
The biggest freaking a-hole.
Mm-hmm.
This next one is, am I the a-hole for refusing to adhere to my sister-in-law's Christmas gift list? For Christmas, my husband and I are hosting my parents, my brother, Chris, his wife, Amy, their 2 sons, my sister, Lucia, and her boyfriend, Alex. The background to all this is that Amy complains about every gift she is given by any of us. Every Christmas, she makes faces and snood remarks about the things she's gifted. For example, last year, my husband and I gifted Amy and Chris a joint set of a very expensive coffee maker, which is the same one we have at home that Chris loved when they visited. Amy's only remark, not even a thank you, was, "Oh, well, this really isn't for me, is it?" A few days ago, Amy included the whole family on a group email with a Christmas list for her and the kids, saying that she would only accept gifts from her list. On her list was expensive perfumes, links to expensive clothing items, and designer handbags. I was livid. My parents were offended as well, but didn't want to say anything to Amy. But I wasn't going to hold back in the face of what I felt was grossly entitled behavior. I replied to Amy's email saying I wouldn't be purchasing anything on that list and that if she wanted to shop for a Louis Vuitton wallet, I was happy to put her in touch with my saleswoman. I also said that if she didn't really like what she received for Christmas, she was welcome to just leave it at my house. Chris blew up at me saying Amy was just trying to make everything easier for everyone by giving suggestions. I disagree and told him I think Amy was just trying to find a sneaky way to get a few things she normally can't afford for free, which in my opinion is not in the spirit of Christmas, and I think she's being extremely childish. My parents think I shouldn't have said anything, but Lucia says I absolutely should have because she wasn't going to be spending hundreds on Amy's Christmas list either. And Lucia is her sister. Was I the a-hole for not going along with it? Edit. For everyone asking, yes, Amy drinks coffee and uses the coffee machine. No, she and Chris do not gift anyone anything of the value of the items on our list. I think you're absolutely not the a-hole for refusing to adhere to your sister-in-law's list.
No, your sister-in-law is the a-hole.
Absolute a-hole. Like, she should not saying, yeah, I want Louis Vuitton and
like she
I want these
only
designer handbags.
did designer things.
That's absolutely not okay. That's not how Christmas works.
No. I think she's the writer who wrote this is totally right, and she's trying to get free things.
Yeah, it's not okay. I'm looking at some of the comments to see what anyone else said. Oh, I like this. Not the a-hole, this person says. Tell Chris and Amy that since you can't meet their gift expectations, you won't be exchanging gifts with them going forward. Tell them to please not give you any gifts because you won't be giving them any. You'll just give gifts to their kids, but you'll be choosing gifts that are within your budget. Yeah, honestly.
Not everyone's pure
I would
rich.
not buy anyone just a designer handbag for Christmas. You're my sister-in-law.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not my mom. And even then, I'm like, I don't have designer handbag money.
No. And I don't think many people do in this world and economy.
That's pure jail.
Like,
it's not like she's like, hey, I would love a designer handbag. Like, it's a funny thing.
Yeah, I'd love this designer thing, but obviously I don't expect it.
Or really think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, like, really...
I don't expect it, and here's things you can actually afford.
She's like, here's my list. Designer handbags, designer wallets, designer...
Clothes.
Yeah, designer clothes, and the most expensive perfumes. No. Jail.
Pure jail.
Yeah, she is absolutely not the a-hole, but the sister-in-law is pure the a-hole.
Yeah.
So I think that's enough for that one.
All right, this one is called, Am I the a-hole for being upset with my family because they didn't get my kids Christmas presents? I married into a wealthy family. My family is lower middle class, so it was quite a change. I have 2 kids that get more or less anything they want, but they aren't spoiled. Anyways, we decided to spend Christmas with my family, and the day before Christmas Day, since my dad worked the actual day, my mom calls all the kids to the trees for presents and did her usual, "You guys were so good, that's why Santa gave you all these things" speech. After that, all of them quickly found their gifts, and my 2 kids kept searching and couldn't find anything. My son was on the verge of tears, and my daughter was quiet after the tree was cleared and they had nothing. I asked my mom what was going on, and my mom looked at me, then at my kids and went, "Oops, I thought you knew." We all decided that we weren't buying them Christmas gifts. I asked her why, and she said that they get more than they need from me and my in-laws, and that they all collectively decided to spend more on those that need it. She looked at my son, who had tears running down his face, and said, "See, look how spoiled he is. This is good for them." She then walked away. I quietly went back to the guest room and packed our things. I then called my husband, who had offered to go grab my mom something from Walmart, and told him to leave the stuff and come pick us up. We then left quietly after I let my dad know. He was disappointed, but he said he understood. We managed to cheer the kids up and visited my in-laws instead. A while later, I got a call from my mother. She kept asking me why I disappeared like that, and said that she was waiting for the stuff my husband was bringing from Walmart. I told her very politely that I didn't like what she did to my children, and that she or literally anyone else could have at least told me. My mom said I was acting very entitled for someone who goes on multiple vacations a year. She then brought up my crying son again. I got pissed and told her that the reason he cried is because of her stupid speech about only good kids getting presents. My mom then randomly said that maybe he isn't a good kid if he cried like that over not getting toys. We argued back and forth over this, and then I ended up saying that she's very lucky I didn't snatch back the gifts I brought for my nieces and nephews. My mom just said, "The entitlement," before hanging up. My sister texted me the same thing, and my other sister said, "I'm playing the victim when the real victims are them and their kids." My mom sent a similar text as well. Am I the a-hole?
This one's making me... I'm, like, genuinely getting angry. Can I go first?
Yeah.
Pure jail to the mother-in-law and their sisters. At least I think so, because, first of all, oh, no, we didn't tell you. That's mean.
Pure petty.
And, oh, well, maybe your kids weren't good. They deserve this. In front of the children, you said that? That's absolutely
jail. Other children.
I would not allow my children to be here.
The grandma literally was like, they deserve this because they're spoiled.
Look, they're crying.
You did not get to tell me if my child's spoiled. And they were the kids' ages, I didn't say them, but they're 6 and 4.
No, you did not tell that to my children. Like, if somebody told that to my children...
6 years old and 4 years old. They don't know rich or poor.
Yeah, and I would just say, they're not going to have a relationship with you. That's so rude to say that. And the fact that she's like, oh, well, maybe they weren't good. And, like, like you said, they're 6 and 4. They don't
know.
Understand. You never say that in front of a child.
She literally made a whole big speech about, if you're good, you get presents from Santa. And then they don't get anything. So they think, oh, we must have been bad.
Yeah, Santa didn't bring us any presents. That's jail.
A comment said, your mom made a big show to all the kids about Santa bringing presents because they were so good. All while knowing some kids didn't have anything under the tree because she intentionally left them out. And she thinks it's good for them. Look, it might be one thing to maybe spend money differently on grandkids who have a lot versus grandkids who need a lot. But your mom was actively out to punish your kids simply because they come from a wealthier background. That's just gross. Not the a-hole.
Yeah, she is not the a-hole. The mother-in-law and her sisters are absolutely a-holes.
Her whole side of the family, except her dad. Her dad,
yeah,
he isn't so much of an a-hole, but he kind of is
part of it.
Letting it happen.
Yeah, and the sisters being like, we're the victim and our children. Shut up. No, you're not.
Make something for yourself. Get a better job.
And the mom saying, well, this is pretty entitled coming from someone who goes on multiple vacations a year. Guess what? I have a good career, and I make lots of money, and I can use my money however I want to. And you can be jealous all you want, because clearly they are.
Yeah.
Do not tell me I'm not allowed to have feelings because I go on vacation a lot. Like, I would never talk to my family again if they talked to me like that.
No.
Like, I would have to cut them out for a while.
Yeah.
Especially with it being related to your children. And
they're 6
being like,
and 4. That's not old enough.
No, Santa didn't get you any presents.
You must, they're obviously, she's saying my son was he couldn't shake that he was bad.
It's ridiculous. I hate that.
He was bad.
I hate the sisters, and I hate the mom.
They're all the a-holes.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate that. That one was making me angry, the whole freaking time.
There's another comment. And it says, OP, your mom sounds like my mom, who once literally got me coal for Christmas. Years later, when I was in my 20s, she bought my brothers and I a toolkit.
Okay.
My throat is
We need to get water.
Okay. Literally, my throat's so itchy.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, read that comment of hopping on.
Okay. So here's a comment. Your mom sounds like my mom, who once literally got me coal for Christmas. Years later, when I was in my 20s, she brought my brothers and I a toolkit. My older and younger brother got the 100-piece toolkit, and I got the 50-piece toolkit. When I asked why I got the smaller one, she said, oh, well, you're gay, you don't use tools. Then she said, plus you've never asked us for money, so we figured you could buy it yourself if you really needed it. I've been no contact with her for about 3 years now, and they've been the most peaceful holidays I've ever had in my life. And then she was saying, or he, I don't know, not the a-hole, I'm so sorry for your kids.
Literally, that's messed up. These families are messed up.
Not the next comment being, you're gay, so you don't use tools. Being gay means that you never have to assemble anything or nothing breaks. Where can I sign up? Who knew?
Honestly.
That person's funny. That's hilarious. Funny. Oh my gosh.
Hope he's not.
Not me just wanting to read the rest of this.
Okay.
It literally said, I literally said, this is the person who did that comment. Well, that's homophobic. And my mom was like, no, I've never seen you fix anything. If I never used tools, why did you get me them? We got you all the same thing. No, you didn't. You got me a 50-piece set. Yeah, because you never used tools. I just realized we were just going in circles. I just eventually left. I like the people in the comments. They're funny.
They are funny. But OP's definitely not.
This next one is, am I the a-hole for not canceling Christmas with my family? And it's by Distinct Judge 5711. The fight is over and settled, but I'm curious about whether I'm the a-hole. My fiance and I live together in one state, and our families live about 8 hours away from us. This is my first Christmas without my children since my divorce. It was very important for my fiance to be with his family for part of Christmas because we fear it might be his grandmother's last one. So the plan was to drive to his family's house and spend a couple days and celebrate Christmas Eve with them, and then head over to my dad's house Christmas Day to have dinner. Again, this was my first year without my kids, so it was very important to me to be around my family as well. According to the plan, everyone was getting what they wanted and needed. The night we got into town at his mom's house, we went to dinner, and I suspect my husband got food poisoning because he was up all night in the bathroom. The next day, he's still in and out of the bathroom, and the poor man had it coming out of both ends. Okay. Christmas Eve was the next day, and even though he wasn't feeling great, he was there
I'm sorry, I'm just picturing he's like throwing up and then going at the same time because it's pushing it out.
Can you imagine? Oh, I'd rather die. I'd rather throw up than have diarrhea.
I think I'd rather have diarrhea.
Why?
Because
you never know when it's coming out.
I've never had like explosive diarrhea though.
Christmas Eve was the next day, and even though he wasn't feeling great, he was there at the table, eating and enjoying time with his family. Christmas morning rolls around, and we wake up, and I ask how he's feeling. He says, still poopy. I ask if he's even up for going over to my dad's. He said, I wouldn't want you to miss Christmas with your dad, and I responded, well, I could go for dinner and come back late tonight. He said no, it was fine, and he would head over in a bit. Well, he went off on me in the car on the way over, told me he was testing me and my loyalty, but I dropped the ball and I'm not acting like a true partner because I was just ready to abandon him when he was sick. Even though his mom and stepdad were home, he says it was not their responsibility to take care of him. It was mine. That I should have called my dad and said my fiance was sick and I wasn't going to be at Christmas. Without going into more detail about the fight that ensued, I just want to know, am I the a-hole? I think
so wait,
not.
Who got mad at her?
Her husband. He's like...
For leaving?
They went together and said that she was testing him and their loyalty because she dropped the ball and she wasn't acting like a true partner because I was just ready to abandon them when he was sick. Absolutely, it's not...
Okay, she probably just wanted to see her family, especially
and you
if
said,
they live far away.
Yeah, and he also said, no, it was fine, we'll head over in a bit. But now it's her testing his loyalty, or her testing their loyalty.
Gaslighting.
Pure gaslight. He needs to go to jail, and he just didn't want to see that family. And he's like, yeah, we'll go. You're testing your loyalty for me, and I'm sick, and you should take care of me, not my parents. Like, actually, no.
Straight to jail.
I'm not taking care of you for treating me like this.
Yeah. Pure jail.
He's the
a-hole.
The first comment, red flag emojis.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, their comment, testing your loyalty? Nope, out of that relationship. Testing loyalty is BS. They'll never stop. You'll start constantly second-guessing yourself into doing what he wants.
Yeah, he's gaslighting and manipulating.
Not to mention you weren't abandoning him. He was at his parents', not a sketchy Walmart parking lot in a cardboard box. Is your fiancé a child? Because if not, then he's an adult that can sip chicken broth and blow up the bathroom like a grown adult. Then the fact that he doesn't seem to care that the holiday season...
It's like the only time she gets to see her family.
Yeah,
basically.
and you wanted to be with your family. Run, sweetie. Run from flags as fast as you can. Yeah, I agree. He is a red flag.
Red flag collector.
Refer to chemistry episode where we talk about red flags.
This title is, Am I the a-hole for not allowing my daughter's half-sister to spend Christmas with us? By Christmas Joy 231. My ex-husband and I got divorced 7 years ago. We share custody of our 13-year-old daughter. He got married and has a 5-year-old daughter with his now wife. His daughter would spend time with my daughter regularly. They adore each other, and she doesn't come to my house. But she doesn't come to my house, and they rarely meet up there. His wife has been diagnosed with cancer and has started treatment recently. The other day, he came to drop our daughter off and asked to speak with me. He talked about his wife's circumstances, then how his family won't be able to have a Christmas celebration this year. He said it wasn't fair for his daughter and asked if I could include her in my family's celebration. He pointed out how the girls will have a great time together, bonding and making memories. But I said I was sorry, but my family's traditional celebration is a sacred thing, and I do not feel comfortable including anyone else. Plus, it'd be awkward having her in my home. He said that his daughter may not be family to me, but she sure is to her half-sister. He asked me to stop and think about what's best for the kids here. I suggested he take his daughter to spend Christmas with her grandparents. He said his parents and him are no contact, and tried to cut the conversation short, but he stopped me and started going on about how cruel it was for me to decline to include his daughter, who's already having a hard time adjusting. I saw that he was beginning to cry, so I stepped back and said I was no longer feeling comfortable with this conversation. I asked him to leave, and he did, but he still texted me asking me to agree to let his father come spend Christmas, even offered that he stays away if that'll make me less uncomfortable. I said no, and now he's calling me selfish and unfeeling. A point worth mentioning here is that my family is going to attend, and they said that they too will not feel comfortable in this situation. Thus, I said it would be awkward. So they have a daughter together, her and her ex-wife, or ex-husband, and he has a new daughter with his new wife, who's 5. His new wife got cancer, and so I'm assuming they can't afford Christmas because they're paying for cancer stuff. And he asked if she would include his daughter, the half-sister, in her celebrations. And she's like, I don't really feel comfortable with that. Why don't you get her grandparents to do it, to do Christmas with her? And he's like, well, I'm not in contact. Why can't you do it? And he's like, I'll stay away if that will make you more comfortable. And her family's also not comfortable.
It's a 5-year-old child.
But imagine being the ex-wife taking care.
I think if I was married to somebody and we got divorced and they had a child, and their ex's new spouse had cancer, I'd be okay taking care of their child for Christmas.
I would too. I'm just saying I can see where they're coming from.
I still think they're the a-hole.
They're
well within... No, I know. I'm just saying I think they're well within their... They are allowed to say no. I think it's an a-hole move.
They're allowed to say no, but we don't know the whole situation. We don't know how they ended on terms of their relationship. We don't know how their relationship is now. And, like, what if something were to happen? I can see why they would be uncomfortable, because, like, what if the child throws a fit? Do you really feel comfortable being like, hey, you can't throw a fit? Let's, like, or disciplining if they're doing something wrong, like coloring on your walls or something? Do you really feel like disciplining that child that's not yours? And how long would they be staying? Just Christmas? Because it doesn't sound like just Christmas. It sounds like longer.
I don't like it. I think, where is she supposed to go? He's trying to take care of his wife. You just want your child to see you dying?
Well, we don't know if she's dying.
I mean, she's in cancer treatment.
Well, yeah, and I'm sure she's probably sick.
I don't know. I don't like it. I feel like
it's a horrible situation.
Yeah. I can see why she's like, it would make me uncomfortable, but I don't know if to the point of being like, I'm not doing that for one day. I guess we don't know. The problem is I don't know if there's enough information. I still think she's the a-hole.
Okay. I don't think I can say if they're the a-hole or not, because I don't think there's enough information. Because there's so many factors.
Well, of course, but there are with all of them.
And how does the ex-wife feel about it? Because what if the dad didn't even ask the ex-wife? Like, there's just so many factors we don't know.
You mean the wife?
Yeah, like the wife with cancer. How does she feel about it?
I don't know.
Exactly.
This next one is, am I the a-hole for telling my son that he ruined Christmas for me and his stepdad when he decided to spend it with his dad? And it's by, am I the a-hole, 657-999-5460. Me and my ex-husband are divorced. We have a 16-year-old son together named Mason. I got remarried to my husband, Nathan. My ex-husband and I used to argue on who should get Mason for the holidays, back when he was little. As he got older, we started letting him decide. Last year he spent Christmas with me, Nathan, and my in-laws, and he complained that the experience was terrible because he said Nathan and his family. I'm not defending them, but my in-laws are quite traditional when it comes to food and a bit ignorant to what types of foods Mason eats. So he's probably just vegetarian or vegan or something.
Yeah, probably.
He also said he didn't feel as welcome as the other kids in the family and that Nathan forced him to share his personal stuff like his phone so that step-nephews could watch Christmas movies.
Pure jail.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's his phone. He doesn't need to share it.
I know someone who had that.
If I was that parent, I'd be like,
give his phone back.
Why do you have my child's phone?
Yeah, literally.
Like, if I saw a child, I'd be like,
that looks like my son's phone. Did he let you use that? Jail.
I'd be like, and even if they were like, yeah, I'd be like, Mason, why did they have your phone?
Yeah, for real.
And he'd be like, Grandma made me.
No, your husband made me. It was the husband. Nathan forced him to share his personal stuff like his phone.
Oh, absolutely not. I'd be like, Nathan, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That's not your child.
No, it's my child.
Absolute jail. Already. Sorry,
yeah.
You can continue.
I agree. Yesterday during breakfast, we were talking about Christmas and what we were planning this year. But out of nowhere, he announced that he'll be spending this Christmas with his dad at a rental Christmas cottage in his favorite town. I was stunned. So was Nathan. I asked Mason when and how he agreed to this arrangement, but he pointed back to what happened last Christmas and said he didn't want to have another crappy holiday and be miserable. I told him that his dad should have come to me first, but he argued that he's already okayed it, and so he saw no reason for my opinion. We started arguing and he started complaining about me trying to ruin the experience, but in response, I told him he has already ruined Christmas for me and his stepdad the minute he agreed to this arrangement. Gaslighting, manipulation, guilt tripping, all the bad things in the book.
And I thought his mom was actually going to be, like, good. No, she's not. She doesn't remember last Christmas. You're writing these things down about what your husband did.
Yeah, he got up and walked away after saying that I was being overdramatic. Nathan just sat there and looked down. I had a huge argument on the phone with Mason's dad, and he kept giving me an attitude and laughing and saying I sounded pathetic. When I told him I'd have my lawyer call him, he backpedaled and said he wouldn't have done this if Mason didn't like it. He urged me to drop it and let Mason have this experience, or he'll resent me for missing it. Now Mason isn't speaking to me. Nathan is trying to convince him to stay with us because without him, our Christmas is ruined, but he won't budge from the looks of it. Am I the a-hole for not dropping it as well? Yeah. What I meant by why didn't his dad come to me first is that he planned to take Mason out of town, which is a really big deal to me. There's going to be traveling. Yeah, that's what out of town means. Duh. So, for sure, she's the a-hole.
Yeah, she is. She literally said he's old enough to choose who he wants to spend the holidays with. He's choosing his dad. And then especially after the horrible situation, and you don't see why. And then you're like, it's gonna ruin our Christmas.
Our Christmas. Who cares about your Christmas? I don't care if your Christmas is ruined. It's gonna ruin our Christmas. That's not how you parent.
No.
And how you exist as a human being.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, literally, why would you say, oh, well, you are miserable, so now that you don't want to be miserable, but then I'll be miserable. And it makes more sense for me as a parent to be happy than you. As a child, no. Your child should be the happy person.
I do think the dad should have been like, hey, Mason chose to spend it with me, and we're going out of town.
But no, literally, yeah. But this comment, you're the a-hole. So your son can decide who he wants to spend holidays with as long as he chooses you? You did nothing to make his holiday a good one last year. You let him be miserable and defended your in-laws. Not her saying she didn't. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Saying, oh, well, they're traditional. That's defending.
Yep.
Instead of supporting your son's choice, you throw a tantrum and threaten your ex.
With, lawyers.
Yeah, right. Some parent you're acting like a kid more than your own kid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, not this being... And he only ruined Christmas because he's not going to be there to be a free babysitter. Oh my gosh, that's actually a really interesting point.
That is an interesting point. Yeah, she's definitely
She's the a-hole, pure jail. She needs to rethink her choice because is it worth... Here's the thing.
Is it worth losing your child?
No, it's not.
He's not going to... When he's an adult, he's not going to have contact with them.
Oh, very little.
Very little. Limited.
Because I feel like you can't be like, well, choose Christmas whoever you want, but only if it's me.
No.
I'll only be happy or happy with it and let it happen if it's with me. not how it works.
No.
It's just really sus. Like, I understand that it's sad that your son won't be there for Christmas, but you can't tell him he has the option if he's not allowed the option. It's giving, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's giving you're a liar.
For real.
Yeah, so she is a-hole.
She really is. That's all we have for today.
We hope you enjoy this Christmas-themed Am I the A-hole? And
holidays really bring out the worst in people.
True, they really do, but...
Or the good.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's a lot of really good things about the holidays, and these are just some of the little more negative.
Yep.
And so we really just hope you have a good Christmas and a good holiday season. And
make it a good one.
That's so fast. I don't think that's going to work. Oh, baby. Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.
By the way, sometime in the next month, we are also going to have a very wholesome Christmas episode, unlike this one. So we hope you guys look forward to that. We really look forward to that one. We have some fun things in store, and we will see you as soon as we can. Bye, guys. Merry Christmas.